everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a quick review video on the Diorskin Forever Perfect Foundation. This is a new foundation that I bought in my haul a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. I was really tanned a couple weeks ago, or I guess I've only been back from Cuba for 2 weeks. Anyways, my tan that I had is kind of lightening up, so I can finally use this because I bought this based on like my normal skin tone, so it was too light initially for me to use it. So I've used it a couple times now, and I think I can give a decent review. So first of all, this is a pricey foundation. Obviously it's Dior. It is $64 Canadian, which I think works out to, I had all this stuff on my phone and then my phone died. But I think it's $50 US. I've noticed with certain products, particularly like high-end products like Dior and stuff like that, that the Canadian conversion is bigger than it is for other products. Like to have a $14 difference on a product, like if I was going to guess, I would have said this was probably like $54 American. Do you see what I mean? Anyways, I tend to find that with higher end products. I don't know why. So $64 Canadian is a lot, but Jaclyn Hill, if you watched my haul, you'd already know this. Jaclyn Hill had been recently talking about the foundation and how much she loved it, and I wanted to try it out. So I got it. There are 24 shades in this range, which is pretty good. I have, what is it? Number 31, which I think is called Sand. It's kind of like a mid-tone shade. It's got yellow undertones to it. I'm really yellow based, so I have a hard time a lot of times finding a foundation that is yellow enough to match me. They all seem to be like so neutral, or just like even when I try not to buy like a cool tone foundation, I find that like there's so many cool tone foundations, or like they're just never yellow enough for me. But this one's pretty yellow, if you can see. So it's a little bit light for me right now, but I can still totally make it work. This is what I have on today. So 24 shades, so good, good amount of shades to choose from. You get your typical 30 mils in the bottle. The bottle itself is really beautiful. It's glass. It's kind of like, what am I trying to say? What's that word? When something is like not clear. Oh, I can't think of the word. Anyways, it's got this really beautiful bottle. You've got a pump, which is always just like a big plus, because I don't love squeezy tube foundations as much. I just really prefer a pump. But anyways, it's a really beautiful bottle. So like just by appearance, this is a beautiful foundation. So this foundation is supposed to be like a non-oily, medium to full coverage, and it's supposed to have a luminous matte finish, which is very different. Usually those two words don't go together. So I was like, I don't get it. Is it going to be matte, or is it going to be like dewy? I don't get it. But I actually think that that is the perfect description for this foundation. It is matte, but it's got like just like a hint of dewiness to it, where it's just not too much. And I think people with oily skin will still be able to use and enjoy this foundation, but people who are dry will also really enjoy that little bit of dewiness to it. Because usually when you've got really dry skin, you want to stay away from something that's too matte. But I think this is just the perfect formula. Like I think almost everybody can enjoy this formula, whether you're oily, dry, combination, or what one did I not say? Oily, dry, combination, or normal. I think everybody can enjoy this formula. So another reason that this foundation is so expensive, aside from being Dior, is that it's got a bit of a skincare aspect to it. So it has something called Poreless Effect skincare essence in it, which is basically supposed to help make your skin look less textured and just kind of smoother all around with each use. So I haven't used it enough to know if that is necessarily true, but if I do notice that about this foundation, I'll definitely let you know in another video. But just keep that in mind, that on top of like your foundation, you are kind of getting like a little bit of a skincare product in there. I think this is the first time that I've ever had a foundation that has that kind of skincare aspect to it. You usually only see that in really high-end products, like Clé de Peau and I can't even think of any others because they're too expensive for me to be able to afford. But yeah, that is another aspect to this foundation to keep in mind. Okay, so let's talk about its actual application. So I have it on today so you can see how it looks. First of all, I think this is marketed as medium to full coverage. I think it falls right in between medium and full coverage. Like, I did put one kind of layer on and it looked really beautiful, but I do have some scarring right now on my face that I'm having a hard time kind of covering up. So I don't know if you can actually really see it on camera, but I can see it a little bit when I just look in the mirror. This didn't cover that like 100%. So after I did put the first layer on, I did add a little bit more in those kind of areas to kind of cover up the dark spots, and I do think it did a pretty good job. It's not the most full coverage foundation I've ever used, but it definitely is great coverage. Like, I don't really like using anything less than medium coverage. Like, to me, if I do my makeup, I want to have a really flawless looking face. I put it on with a beauty blender, which is how I put on all my foundations every time. I haven't used a brush with foundation in a long time. Went on really well with a beauty blender. And then I set it with my Cover FX matte setting powder, which went on really nice on top of it. I will say probably my favorite thing about this foundation is how well other products sit on top of it. So I had my setting powder, my concealer, my setting powder for my concealer, and then my contour, bronzer, blush, highlight all went on really smoothly on top of this foundation. And I think everything just like, you know when you have those days where everything just seems to melt together on your face, there's nothing patchy, there's nothing that's like too much in some areas and not enough in other areas. I think everything just like melted on really beautifully. I forgot to put a setting spray on today, so on top of that, I think it did a really good job at not looking powdery or cakey or anything like that. I really loved how this foundation looked. So this is what my face looks right now. I put my makeup on at noon today and it is almost 10 o'clock at night now. I went to work. I was hanging out with my daughter and she's always like touching my face and kissing my face and stuff like that. So my face was, you know, I wasn't just sitting around all day looking pretty, and this is how it looks, you know, basically 10 hours later almost. It's supposed to be a 16-hour wear foundation as well. It does say on the Sephora website. I really do think this could last 16 hours. There's not many times where I'm wearing my makeup for 16 hours straight. 12, definitely, when I used to work night or 12-hour shifts at my work. I work as a nurse. I would definitely be working a 12-hour shift, and then I'd probably have my makeup on an hour before I go to work and maybe an hour or so after I get off. So there would be some days where I would have my makeup on for 14 hours, and this would be a really great foundation, I think, for those kind of days. And I will add, I did not powder or touch up anything on my face once the whole day. I really wanted to see if this was going to make me oily or anything like that. Now keep in mind, I did use a matte setting powder, so that probably is helping too. But overall, I think it held up really well today, and I'm super impressed with it. So overall, what do I think of this foundation? Right now, I absolutely love it. I think it looks so beautiful on the skin. To me, it's worth the $64. If it wasn't, I would totally take it back. I did try the Dior Air Flash, is that what it's called? Yeah, the Dior Air Flash, like the aerosol foundation that Dior has. I ended up returning it because it was nice, but to me, it just wasn't worth the like $75 or something that it was. I couldn't, like, I don't know, I just couldn't find a reason to keep it. So I ended up returning that one. This one I really love. I was looking on the Sephora website. This product does have like 4 and a bit stars out of 5, so obviously it's pretty well liked. I was reading through some of the comments, and I would say the bad things that people were talking about was that some people were saying that it oxidizes. I didn't really find that with me, but maybe on some people, like some people were saying that it oxidizes on them, but a lot of people really loved this foundation. So for me, it gets a thumbs up. I definitely recommend this. Try it out and see what you think. I think that's all I have to say about this foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!